Welcome everyone to the build log for Spectre Spirit. This is actually going to be a little bit more of an update video than a build log, but while I'm talking you can watch me build Spectre Spirit and there will be a few details in here about the build. This is an older build log. It's actually from a couple of years ago, and like so many of the build logs that I shoot, I never have the time to edit them and put them up, and then they just get a bit old, and so I never put them up. But you know, that's something I'm going to be talking about in this video. The customer recently came back to us for a new build, and so this was a high-end Spectre 2 build, and of course it's going to be a high-end Spectre 3 build with a 3090 5950X, and it has a new SingularityComputers product going into it, which we've been working on for a long time. We had the idea years ago, but it took a while to find the people to put together the team to actually build this thing, because it's a completely new area for us and something that's never been done before. It's really unique, and we're really reaching high with this idea. So we're working on that build right now, and I'm really looking forward to putting up the build log. So this is something I've been wanting to talk about for a while, and you know, I've brushed over it briefly, but I really need to make a longer and more detailed video to get into, you know, all of this. But something that's really sad for me is that I've had this goal for such a long time of putting, you know, all of my time back into the channel and doing the detailed build logs that I used to, just building systems every day and filming it, you know, the weekly videos. The reason that this stopped was because those of you who have been following me for a while know that I started developing products in 2014, 15, and you know, started releasing them from 2015 onwards. So when I started doing this, I had, you know, a carefully laid out plan where I could continue putting all of my time into the channel. And you know, because I was the one with the ideas, with the designs, and then I found other people to do the manufacturing, the assembly, and the distribution. And I tried this multiple times, but each time I had to take on all of it myself because things didn't go to plan. And you know, the second time the product was such a huge success, Spectre, and there was such a high demand, and suddenly we had to just drop everything and become experts at manufacturing, assembly, distribution, and you know, start doing all of these things that we never planned on doing, along with running a company and all of the things that come with that. So we really had to just cut a lot of things, and one of those things was the channel. And I tried to keep up with it as much as I could, but you know, I was actually working 80-hour weeks for about 3 years there. But something that I have been able to do, which is, you know, my absolute passion, is continue developing products. And we have just been pouring everything into product development, mainly over the past couple of years, and what we have coming is more than twice what you see now. So you know, this is something that's really exciting, and high on our agenda. I've had this goal of getting back to the channel, but it has just taken so long to, you know, you can't be an expert at everything, and we had to learn so much manufacturing, assembly, and all of that. And so that's something we've been perfecting, outsourcing, shuffling things around, you know, doing everything it takes to again free up some of my time to put more time back into the channel. So I can't put a timeline on it, but it is something that's coming, and it is something that I've been, you know, working towards for a very long time now. Here are a few clips from way back when we built this system, and then a look at the finished product and the test results. So I've just finished filling the loop, and I'm now doing the stability testing, temperature testing, and benchmarking. You can see there's still a bit of air in the loop. It's going to take a little while for that to come out. It always does with any build. It can take up to a couple of days, just depending on your loop design and components. For example, if you run your loop back to the top of the reservoir, it's a lot quicker to get the air out compared to running it to an inlet on the pump top. But with Spectre, it usually takes a little longer to bleed because the loop is so clean and short that the flow is really high. And also the reservoir is kind of lower volume in general than a traditional cylinder reservoir due to its flat manifold design. But there is a simple trick. You can just externally power the pump, and you wait until the air gathers here in the top of the reservoir, and then every time it gathers like that, you just unplug the pump, and then it rises out of the top. I also like to run the pump at a bit of a lower RPM, because if you run it at maximum, it just keeps recirculating the air, and it keeps the air in very small bubbles. So for the air to gather, you run the pump at about 50%, but not all of the time, because then it gets airlocks in the radiators and, you know, stuck in the water blocks. Now, this customer actually requested heavy use of fittings. It was just something that he wanted, something that he likes the look of. And, you know, I can understand that. I love my Bitspower Black Sparkle fittings, but I do try to, you know, not be impractical with the use of fittings. And so I didn't just want to use excessive fittings for no reason, so I decided to create a reason for it. And so I did this parallel configuration between the GPU and CPU, and I created some symmetry in it as well to create a feature out of it. And I hid a lot of it kind of behind the vertically mounted GPU.